Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to our second episode. If you missed the first one, go ahead and make sure you check that out. We are now on Spotify, Apple, Stitcher,
And
YouTube,
Pandora.
and YouTube.
And YouTube.
Yeah, so you can check us out on pretty much every site that there is.
Mm-hmm.
What a week that it has been. With election stuff going on, I feel like this week has lasted a million years. What do you think?
I agree. It's like the anxiety and the stress that's kind of come along with this week. I feel like I can finally take a breath and let that go and kind of just move on, and accept everything.
Yeah.
So, what's new with you, Maya?
This week? I feel like this week has lasted a long time, like I've said. But I always feel like not much has happened, but that's a lie. I feel like it's just really messed with my mind with this whole election thing. But I feel kind of stressed with school stuff going on because everyone that's in college or even in high school knows that teachers just take a long time to reply to you. That's been awful. This is a quick little rant. Enough about that though. My DM situation. I've been getting the weirdest DMs ever. And I feel like I get weirder ones when I'm on private actually. Do you or no?
Girl, I just don't check them.
They're
in
always
their folder,
bots.
and I'm like,
Yeah. And I get a lot of fake ones that are like, oh, brand deal, like be our brand ambassador. But they really just want you to buy their stuff.
True.
And then just charge you.
Yeah.
And it's just a scam.
We'll give you $5 off $100.
Exactly. That's really what they do.
I know.
But on top of that, I got this really weird one. Gosh, I think maybe 5 or 6 days ago. And this guy messaged me. He had 0 followers. I'll actually pull it up right now so I can see it. But yeah, 0 followers, wasn't following anyone. And he said, do you want to make $50 in parentheses, not asking for nudes? And I was like, okay, this is a fake account. This is a bot. I'm just going to ignore it. But then the next day, he said, okay, $100. And I was like, okay, I'm actually interested. I'm intrigued right now.
What?
I'm going to pull it up. Don't look at the screen right now. You're going to see some scarring stuff. So I asked him, I was like, okay, what do I have? What do I have to do? Like, what is this? And I did little laughing faces. Like, this is weird, man. He said, you just have to tape your mouth.
What?
And I said, tape my mouth? He said, yep, that's all you gotta do. And I was being pretty blunt. I told him, I was like, that seems pretty sketchy. How do I know you'll pay?
Or what will you use these photos for?
Exactly. I wish I didn't ask that. I'll get to that, but I wish I didn't ask him. I don't even know. But he said a lot of girls done it for me. I even got receipts. And I didn't ask for any of this stuff, but he started sending me the receipts, as you can see right here.
What?
But then I was still like, okay, I'm not dumb. These could still be fake.
Yeah, totally.
And then I was like, okay, maybe I'll do it, but you could block me after I send it. We got negotiating. It went on for quite a while. And then I was like, what are you going to use it for? He said, just personal use. It won't be posted or anything. Look at the photos he sent me of all these girls with duct tape over their mouth. He sent me hundreds of photos of girls. They're fully clothed, by the way. He isn't asking for nudes. He just wants girls to duct tape their mouth. And I was like, this seems pretty weird. Not really comfortable with this, but he kept asking and asking. So the other day I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a little bit and ask a little more questions about it. And I was like, okay, how much would you pay me? Because I'm a little interested. It doesn't really what are the cons? Honestly, what are the cons of me doing this?
Okay, so what happened?
Okay, after that, I asked more questions because he said he wanted 20 photos. I was like, that's kind of a lot. And 2 videos of me taping my mouth.
Yeah.
I'm just going to show you this video that he sent me. And I'd like to hear your reaction. Because I said, what's the video of me doing? And he said it's taping.
And right now it's a girl.
Yes. She's taping her mouth.
Regular looking girl. She's taping her mouth with black duct tape.
Yes.
Really putting it
he
on
also
there.
asked what
dang.
He asked what kind of duct tape I had. He said, send me photos of the duct tape you have.
What? And she patted it on her lips, and now she's just taking a selfie video.
Yes. As weird as it sounds, though, I feel like it was a legit offer. He asked for my PayPal. I'm still debating doing it.
Girl, no.
Offer? Why not?
Because it's sketchy. Who knows where these photos will be used?
Well, how are they going to come back to bite me, though?
Because if they're used for some bad purpose. Oh, goodness. What people are thinking these days, I don't know.
Wild. It's been a wild, long week.
Is it COVID or
COVID does make people go crazy. I will say that.
Okay. Regardless of that story. Speaking of COVID, that brings us to our topic of the day.
Yes.
We're actually going to be talking about traveling during COVID.
Yep.
Yeah, we are talking about traveling during COVID in today's episode.
And along with that, we're also going to be talking about kind of just traveling on a budget.
some tips and
Just
things
staying
that
safe.
we've used. Yeah, definitely. So we've actually traveled quite a bit during this pandemic and COVID-19 stuff happening, but mainly it's been for work. It really hasn't been.
It's not like we've been wanting to go to these
No.
like luxurious places.
Yeah,
It's mostly
nowhere
work.
fun. It's really just for work. So, kind of what started the first time we traveled was back in February. I was buying a house out of state for an investment purpose, and I took my dad with me. And February was kind of like we heard about the pandemic, but you don't really know
All
how
up in
serious
the air,
it is.
yeah.
Yeah, and so it was just kind of like, well, better be safe than sorry. So I remember we like got our face masks, and at that time it was hard to find them. Like you couldn't find them anywhere. So I think I was using like this old one I had from some home construction thing.
Did you wear it on the plane?
Yeah, because I was like, I don't know.
Pretty early, yeah.
I don't, because it was so weird. And
there were so many myths at that time too. Do you remember how people were like, masks don't do anything? Like it was all crazy.
It was just a weird vibe in the airport too, because I was leaving from LAX, which is usually like always packed, always crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been there when it's so dead, and that's what kind of gave me the first eerie feeling. And then it was like inside, I would say half the workers had masks and half of them didn't. So it was still just like, what is going on? Like, do we need to be scared for this? Or I don't know. It was just a weird feeling. So we wear our masks the whole entire time. And nothing was really different on the flight at that point. Like, we did bring our own Clorox wipes and wiped everything down. But everything was just kind of as normal.
We did that kind of before COVID too. Not as much,
Right,
but I feel like we did always take our wipes just because you never really know.
Yeah, you don't know how clean things are.
Yeah.
And I think it's always good to just kind of wipe down your seat, wipe down your tray, and be as safe as you can. So that was the first time that we traveled, and it kind of kicked off all of the next experiences that we had and what we started preparing doing and things that we incorporated into our travel procedure. Yeah.
Cute. Okay, I have some like tips written down just for how to remember like what to bring just to be extra safe. My first tip is actually to write a list. I feel like lists are so important and they just really help your mind just because it's so easy to forget, especially masks. I can't count how many times I run out of the house and I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot my mask. And when traveling, I feel like you need so many backups because you don't know if you're going to lose one. You don't know if one's going to get super dirty. Especially if you're a girl, you might wear makeup. That's just kind of gross to like rewear those over and over, I feel like. Purell wipes, those are a must. Those are such a must. That sanitizer, we use the wipes so much on the planes. And what's really nice about the planes that we've been traveling on is usually, not all the time, but they do give like a little, what would you call that? Just like a little gift bag.
Yeah, like
a little goodie bag.
Little goodie bag when you come in, which usually has a water
little
bottle,
baby water,
a wipe, and sometimes a snack.
A little cookie or something.
Yeah.
It's not usually good, but like a cute little cookie. But yeah, I feel like wipes are really important. Do you want to talk about how much the flights can lie to you? I feel like that's important to note.
Yeah, so after we took another flight, I want to say in maybe like July. And so at that point, it was like full pandemic.
Yeah.
You had to wear a mask to come into the airport. You had to wear a mask on the airplane. And we were leaving out of our local airport, so it was smaller than LAX. And it was amazing because the flights were still full. There was no empty seats. And this was American Airlines. So,
and they always said too, American Airlines said like we're taking extra precautions and stuff to make sure you're safe. Like we're separating. Didn't they say they were separating like every other aisle or something? They were doing
like
something.
They tried to make it sound like they were being so safe and using all these new practices.
Yeah.
Well,
it was a lie. They packed us
lie.
on the plane.
It was full, and we were sitting next to strangers. Like I didn't
Some
know
were
the
coughing.
person.
That's gross. You don't know how dirty they're gonna be.
No, you don't know the person next to you. So it was so frustrating because you don't get any of that safety. And then on top of that, we were flying home, and so we saw the plane that we were traveling on. They had just landed and were kind of getting everybody off still.
And keep in mind, they always say, like, we clean the plane, like, super well, just because, again, extra precautions that they take.
Right. Well, the plane was docked, or whatever the right word is, for, like, no more than 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And that was their cleaning time. 15 minutes. So in 15 minutes, they cleaned the whole entire
Every
plane.
tray. Like, there's no way.
And so we got back on the plane. It was still full. We're still sitting next to strangers.
And I remember even opening, like little like seat in front of me where you can keep like they keep magazines and stuff. I remember there was trash in there from the last person. That's definitely not what you want to see.
Yeah, it really isn't. So I'm gonna give you some statistics on how dirty an airport is.
These are gross, guys.
And what you actually do need to be worried about. So the first thing that we saw, according to CBS News, is the self check-in screens when you come into the airport.
Kiosk, they're called?
Yeah, you could go to that instead of the actual person.
Both though. Gross.
That was rated highest in bacteria. So if you use that to check yourself in or get your ticket, make sure you sanitize up. Yeah.
It's really
and
gross.
So armrests in the airport were also up there. So if you sit down at the airport, make sure you wipe it down.
Yeah.
And then also when you're on the airplane, the flushing button in the bathroom was rated the grossest and dirtiest part of the whole plane. So if you have to use the toilet on the plane, make sure you wash your hands before and after.
I don't know the last time I
dirty.
went to the bathroom on a plane just because I don't get good vibes from the toilets in there. It's so tiny.
Sometimes you gotta go.
Gross.
When you gotta go,
no,
you gotta
I
go.
will hold it. I will hold it.
Okay, and then the last thing was the security trays. So when you're at the airport,
Little bins, yeah.
Yeah, the bins that you use to get your things through security check-in.
Not cleaned.
They have more germs than the average toilet. Yeah. So
disgusting.
You have to use those to get your luggage through. So if you do, I actually started doing this. I get my Clorox wipe and I wipe the bin down. It's not only safe for me, but it's a little safer for the person
that's
after
smart.
me. Yeah, you gotta like do what you can.
Kind of gets
to
all your
help.
stuff just like full of bacteria as well.
Yeah, those germs
that's
on
so
your bag. You bring that
gross.
bag. Yes. So I mean, traveling, you really do have to be so cautious, and you cannot rely on the airport or the airplanes.
Yeah,
to
and
clean,
I think another
'cause
fact
it's
that we
not.
looked up is that the airport is actually dirtier than the airplanes usually. So yeah, the planes could be dirty. There
Right.
could be trash in there, but just keep in mind the airport is actually where I feel like you're more likely to get another disease. Not even coronavirus. There's like another disease and bacteria all around you.
Right. I mean, and the planes do have these filters that really try
HEPA filters?
HEPA, I think.
Something
or,
like
yeah,
that. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
They really do kind of keep the air clean, so you're kind of safe on the plane as long as you get the bacteria off your seats and you keep your mask on.
I feel like also recommending if you can get a window seat. 'Cause then if you're on the aisle, I feel like there's more people crossing, like passing by and stuff, and I feel like there's could be another way for more bacteria to be spread. I don't know. Just be on the lookout. It's very scary.
It is. And another thing is try and cover your eyes. I wear these blue light blocking glasses, or if you have regular glasses, I put all of that on. So I've got my glasses, I've got my mask. I even put my hair up so my hair is not really touching the seats. Yeah. Because it's just
See, our hair, we have very long and thick hair. I feel like it could touch the person next to us even. It's really long.
Well, maybe. So, yes, airports are very, very dirty. So.
I also wrote down like another thing that I was thinking of is having headphones. Not just because like, oh, it's a long flight, but also sometimes you could sit next to a talker. And
that's true.
Exactly. Like they could be talking for a long time. I feel like just more of a chance to get any bacteria pass between you guys. Headphones block everyone out. It's so sad to say. Like, yeah, I really feel like headphones would be a really good plan. Even if you're not listening to anything and you want to have silence, put the headphones in. No one's got to know.
Yeah. Another just regular travel tip to use anytime is some sites that I like to use when booking flights. So
Noah's like a budget traveler. I honestly don't know how she does it. I've never booked my own flights, but she has really good travel tips just for being on a budget.
If there's a deal, she will find it.
She will find it.
So I use a couple different sites. I do like Google Flights because you can kind of adjust the airports and see all the flights coming in and out. But they don't have Southwest on there. And sometimes Southwest actually runs some good deals. So check Google Flights, but then also check Southwest because sometimes they do those super cheap one-way flights. And then two apps that I really recommend, and no, this is not sponsored, but if they want to sponsor me,
please
can,
do.
is Momondo and Skyscanner. So on there, you can adjust the tiniest things like how long of a layover you want, what other airports you're open to staying in. I mean, you can adjust so much on there. So I love those. And another tip is when you're looking Tuesdays and Sundays are the cheapest times to usually fly in and out.
Ooh, good tip. That's a really good tip.
Yeah, and I mean, I've checked for international or domestic flights, and it's always the cheapest. So
Wow.
I do love that. And I mean, I love traveling. I mean, we've traveled so many different places. So.
And people always do ask, okay, they kind of assume that we're rich sometimes just because how much we travel. And it's like, no, we're not taking these like amazing first class flights. We are on a budget and we are sticking to it and we are going to these really cool places and everyone can do that.
You can. You totally can. I mean, obviously it's not, $2.
No, like do save money.
Do save money, but it's not nearly thousands of dollars. It's not.
If you plan the right month to go and everything, I feel like you definitely can.
Yeah,
these cool places.
Yeah, definitely look at the months and
hurricane seasons.
Hurricane
you're going to Mexico.
Yeah, no, that's so important. Where's your favorite place that we've traveled so far?
Ooh, actually, I really liked when we went to Cancun. That was a really nice trip, and I didn't like Cancun that much, but the little islands that we went to.
Isla Mujeres?
Yes. Oh my gosh, so amazing. Just the deals there. The food there, super cheap, but also super good.
Yeah.
Oh, the water was so clear and amazing. We got to snorkel. And the snorkeling gear that they gave us too, very cheap. You basically had like a private beach to yourself for like the whole day, and all this snorkeling gear.
Yeah,
for like what, $20?
Yeah, we're a huge fan of not going to like where all the tourists go.
Yeah.
So this was a little bit off the beaten path, but it was like $5 per person. You got snorkeling gear, you had your own chair, and there was a private beach. There was only 2 other people there with us, and we had the whole entire cove. So, I mean, always kind of, go out of your box because I feel like those are the best experiences.
If you look up, like, best places to go on the internet or on Google, you will be taken to, like, tourist sites, I feel like. You have to do some, like, deeper research and really find out where, like, the hidden spots are.
Or sometimes you just stumble across it.
Yeah, that is true. I feel like a lot of the times we have just taken, like, a different path or something. And we're like, oh, this is, like, a nice little secretive spot that not people know about. Very cool.
Yeah.
Another thing that I actually wrote down to bring, this is kind of random, but like vitamins, I feel, I don't know if it's like a placebo and they don't really work, but I am always popping vitamin C's, always.
No, and I actually do think they work. They might not beat your cold, but they definitely boost your immune system. So we take those like vitamin C packets or just plain vitamin C, and definitely I would say like double your dose whenever you're traveling, just to really protect yourself.
I really take a lot.
Yeah.
That's like a few days before I actually travel. I feel like I take a lot.
Yeah, let it build up. That's a good tip.
I kind of want to talk about when you've actually landed. Like now, okay, you're landed, you're in this new place, COVID is going on. Do you have any like tips for that? Because my biggest thing was kind of like do your research because there will some things will be closed.
Right.
And even if they say that they're open on Google Maps or on Google, you still need a call because sometimes they don't change or update their Google stuff.
Yeah. No, that's true. Like even the car rental places, usually they're open 24 hours, but because of COVID, they'll be only open till like 10 p.m., which is a big problem if you're coming in at 11 or midnight and you don't have a car. So yeah, that's a good tip. Always check where you're staying and if everything's operating as usual.
Different like sites too, And I feel like depending on where you travel, some people might not be wearing masks. Just like the whole state, they might not be super cautious about that. And it kind of creates like a false sense of security. Because you're like, oh, no one's wearing a mask. It's really easy to forget that there is a pandemic going on.
Yeah. I mean, we're in California and it's pretty tight.
Out of everywhere we've been, I feel like it's the most.
It's pretty tight. And I mean, like, sure, restaurants are opening up, but you have to wear a mask unless you're sitting down at the table. So we went to Indiana in a couple times actually during the pandemic. 3 different times during the pandemic. And the mask situation over there was just not enforced.
No. I honestly I kept forgetting.
I started forgetting too because you just kind of get used to it and you're like, oh, back to the normal way things were, which feels great. I mean, don't get me wrong, it does.
It's a lie.
But it's still happening. So yeah, different states have different regulations and you kind of then have to think to yourself like, okay, but what's the right thing to do?
And just be careful when you do eat out. It's so fun. I know we all want to when we go to a different place especially, but just be extra careful and maybe look up the reviews on Google. Like, do they have a B rating? That can also just be kind of scary. I feel like you'd have to be really cautious again, just where you eat.
Yeah, I mean, and another thing of not only where you eat, but where you stay.
Yes.
The COVID precautions that people are taking there. For Airbnb, I know based on where we've stayed, they have done some things where they will have it professionally COVID cleaned, where everything is disinfected. And not only that, but they'll have like an alert or a notice on their webpage saying nobody will stay in there for 48 hours after each guest stays out. So it's like any germs from COVID would be dead by then.
Yeah.
So that's something really good to see because not every Airbnb does it. It's up to the host.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, yeah, it's up to the host. So, if you want to be extra safe, see if they're doing that, if they're offering it.
And another thing with Airbnb too, like not all the time, but you can get them with like kitchens and stuff. That way you can just make your own food too. And that way you can just go to the store and then not really have to go out as much.
Right. Which is better than a hotel sometimes.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you actually end up saving money because you're cooking more.
Exactly, yeah. And I also feel like during this time, it might be better to go not in the big cities and stuff. I feel like you could plan your trips now if you really just have that travel itch, just to go to some places where there's more like scenery and stuff. Because then you're not putting yourself at risk to be around all these people and museums and situations. You can see more like nature stuff and go on hikes and cool stuff like that.
Yeah, and there's so many beautiful places out there. I mean, there really is. You don't always have to go somewhere indoor or check out sites. There's so many places.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That's kind of all the tips that I have. I feel like we spilled a lot out there. Do you have any like extra tips you want to share with them or any travel stories?
Ooh, I feel like we did too.
Yeah.
I mean,
what about you? Where have you traveled to, or where have we traveled to? That's been like your favorite during COVID and before COVID.
I mean, there's so many places in Europe I love to visit.
How is Europe handling the pandemic? Do you know?
I don't know.
Are they done?
But I think their numbers are going back up. I think they're almost having their second surge before we are.
I think that Germany may have been protesting it for a while, kind of how we were. We're like, masks are dumb. I think they might have gone through that.
Really?
So I feel like I heard that. Could be a lie, but pretty sure.
Don't count on that information.
Yeah, please don't quote that.
If that's true. But for my favorite places that I've gone, it's always probably somewhere with water because I love to snorkel and be in the ocean. So I've loved going to Italy, like on the coast over there. And Mexico. There's some beautiful places in Mexico.
It's cheap too, like compared to everywhere else. And it's close to where we are.
Yeah, and a lot of people go to Cabo. But personally,
we have some differences over Cabo.
Personally, my favorite is San Jose del Cabo. If you have not gone there,
say your side first. And then
if you have not gone there, like go. It's first of all so cheap, and if you're in California, it's like an hour and a half, an hour flight.
Was it that short?
It was that short. They have some of the best restaurants and food I have ever had.
Oh, I do agree. That's the best food we've ever had on vacation.
It was like, really, like 5-star, amazing food.
I can't even think we went to a place where I was like, this is just okay. Everything was so gourmet and so amazing.
It really, I mean, the presentation, to the flavor, to the
customer service, everything.
Yeah, and even the vibe. Like, it would be very cute, very
relaxing.
chic little restaurants. Yes. So, I mean, it's a really fun experience, to be honest. And it's not the party scene of Cabo. It's more of a relaxing... They're actually really well known for their art there, like world known.
We always somehow end up going to these places, too, and it was like a carnival or a festival going on. Yeah. It's really weird. I feel like every single place we go to...
Maybe it's just a carnival all year.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Honestly, maybe everywhere is just better, but... No, I feel like when we went there, they had like an art festival going on too. And they were like, it only happens like once a year. And we, without meaning to, planned it around that time. Very cool. Really awesome art there.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. And it's more of just a low-key, easygoing vibe. And you can walk to so much if you're in downtown San Jose del Cabo.
Oh my gosh, we got the best tamales there. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Life-changing.
No, from the street food to the actual restaurants, like really, so good. Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one restaurant, I'm just going to say one because there's so many I could go on and on. But this is kind of a really fun place to go. It's called Flora's Farm.
Oh, I forgot about that. I actually forgot.
And yeah, we went there. You do have to take a little bus there, but I mean...
Worth it.
People know how to get there, and it's a bumpy ride, but...
So worth it.
So worth it. I have never had such a good brunch. Like, it is my number one brunch spot in the world.
Out of all the food I ever tried in all the restaurants, I would say it's like top 3 on my list for sure. I don't know, can't place it, but that's definitely top 3.
I mean, they have anything you want. It's kind of a big farm too, where you can walk around. So they've got like little turtle ponds. They've got like a donut bar. They have the full restaurant.
Ice cream, gelato, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just anything you could want. Even a couple little shops there. Like it's almost a full day you could spend, or at least a half day, just kind of walking the grounds, eating delicious food.
Yeah, we are such foodies too.
Yeah, we really are.
Whenever I go on trips, I feel like my friends always say, like,
do
you guys just eat the whole time? And I'm like, honestly, pretty much, yeah. We will stop and pull over at the side of the road in any, like, cute little food place that we see, and we will try it.
We will.
Even if we're full. We just ate, we're going to get it.
And we got high food standards. Like, I mean, we're very picky.
Yeah,
so
especially to, like, fulfill all of us. Like, that's saying a lot. Because each of us have just different things we look for, I feel like.
Right. No. And
especially you. Noah, I feel like, is a very picky you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If it's not good, like, I don't even want to finish my meal, or I don't even want it. Like, if it needs to be good.
I will eat.
She will. But,
like
but this, I mean, really. So that's kind of a really fun place that I don't feel like you hear about that often.
Cabo, though, I do have, like, some issues with it. It's really nice, but it was also so dry. Like, it was really deserty, and I like all the greenery around
It's Baja California. I mean, but I kind of like that because you've got the ocean, and it's not so humid.
That's the thing. I was like, mine is probably an unpopular opinion, because I love humidity. I don't know anyone else that feels that way. I love it. I feel like my skin glows, like, oh, I just love the way it makes me feel.
Yeah, it's totally
not normal.
No, it's totally different in different parts of the water. So it's not like the rest of Mexico, like Cancun or Puerto Vallarta. It's not like that.
Really green, really nice.
Yeah, it's different, but it's fun. It's really, really nice.
Yeah.
So I recommend that.
Awesome.
Anything else? Any other tips you have?
I don't think so. I feel like we gave them a lot of good tips. Especially if you guys listen to them, like, you will find discounted flights and have just a good travel trip.
Yeah, so I hope that was helpful.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure you go ahead and leave us a review. Just a little spoiler, we will be having a contest soon. So make sure you go give us a review, because that will go towards the contest. Ooh. But also go make sure you follow our Instagram just for updates, and subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, everything you can.
Mm-hmm. And next Wednesday, we have a brand new topic. We will be talking about being mindful and present in the moment. So,
thank you guys for listening.
Bye. Bye.